So the year is coming to an end, and whilst we can look back on a spectacular year in 2021 in terms of UFC and MMA, we'll leave it there. Um, but we can look forward to a very exciting 2022, and I think this year was so unpredictable, especially in the champions. Like, who would have ever thought that Amanda Nunes isn't a world champion? That Glover Teixeira is a champion, that Brendan Moreno is a champion. It's crazy. So I kind of wanted to think about this time next year, end of next year, who will be the champion of each division. And obviously that's incredibly difficult to predict because at the end of the day it's a fight. One shot can change everything. You could have, like, technically I could walk in there and knock out Francis Ngannou. Technically, because there's that one shot chance. I wouldn't, but that's the unpredictable nature of it. So this is probably going to be a multiple part series because A, there's 12 different active divisions in the UFC, and B, I ramble a lot, so I'm going to take a while for those ones here. But starting us off with the heavyweights. How I've done this because I cannot decide, and like I said, it's so unpredictable. I've got my top three for each division who could be champion. Obviously, number one being who I think will be. But for heavyweights, this one, I think the three is quite obvious. It's Cyril Gane, Francis Ngannou, and John Jones. But I think in third most likely I have Jones. Second most likely I have Francis, and who I think will be heavyweight champion end of next year, Cyril Gane. I think I'm so high on Cyril. I love watching him fight. Cyril Gane is amazing. He's an absolute beast. He's so quick. He's got power. His movement, his footwork is beautiful. It, like that performance against Derek Lewis, although Derek Lewis was shit, it was a masterclass. He didn't get touched. It was so one-sided because of Cyril mostly. And I think Cyril will win in January, but against Francis is going to be a very tough task. But I just think Cyril's got the skills and the physical attributes to beat anyone in the world. Francis, at the end of the day, we can say that, like, against Stipe, Francis looked a lot better. He was a lot more technical. He was a lot smarter fighter. He's not as technical and he's not as smart as Cyril. And I think that's what's going to be the biggest factor of, will Francis become desperate when he can't just, who's against, Rosenstrike, where he just literally whacking around like that and caught him. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Cyril. How's he going to set those up? And I just think that Cyril Gane can piece him away. Jones won. I think that's probably the most out there one. I think most people will say that Jones will win. Let's be clear. John Jones, before his main legal issues, even the Jones that fought DC the second time, I think would absolutely obliterate both Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou right now. But at the end of the day, that's not the Jones that's going to be there. This is the Jones that have recently had put in, for his standard, very unconvincing and disappointing results. Obviously, he won by decision against Anthony Smith, split decision against Thiago Santos, which he most definitely won but it's still a split decision. And did they even become? I don't remember. I think it was a split decision against Reyes as well, but Reyes won that fight. Just saying. So I'm rambling. But Jones isn't as good as he once was, and he's getting in very close fights against smaller guys. Now when he's the smaller guy and he's getting in these close fights, how's he gonna deal with it? And I feel like with all the extra weight he's putting on, he's going to be a lot slower. His reactions will be looking like, oh, here's a shot. Usually I can just go like this. Now it's a lot slower and I'm getting caught. And if you're getting caught in the heavyweight division, it's not great. So that's why I have John Jones as my third most likely, but it's still John Jones. So yeah, we'll see this one. Next division, we have the light heavyweight division. This one, obviously, at the moment, we've got Glover Teixeira as the champion. As much as amazing as that one is, I don't think he will be light heavyweight champion. Third most likely, I have Alexander Rakic. Second most likely, I have Yuri Prochazka. And probably a very bold prediction, but I'm very high on him, who I think will be the champion come the end of 2022 for the light heavyweights, is Magomed Ankalaev. I am very high on him as well. I think he is a tremendous fighter. He's got the power to kill anyone. He's got, I think, who was it against the last fight? Volkan Ozdemir showed that he can fight a slower fight as well. He can be smarter, and I just feel like that's going to be problems for everyone. Yuri Prochazka, obviously he's incredible. He's a beast as well, but he's, at the end of the day, he's very hittable. He gets hit a lot, but you've seen he can just walk straight through it, and I just feel like against Ankalaev, he'd have to be a lot more cautious, and I don't think that's. I mean, it hasn't been shown yet. Caution, he throws caution to the wind. He just walks straight through the fire. But I feel like Ankalaev is going to shut that fire out. I definitely do think Yuri will be champion this year because I think, well, he should be fighting for the title next, and I feel like he will win that. But Ankalaev, I think he's one impressive performance away from a title shot in my eyes, maybe two at most. So if he fights 3 times this year, he's going to be the champion at the end of the day. So I think Yuri will be the champion at some point in the year, but I think Ankalaev will take it by the end of the year. And the third and final one was Alexander Rakic. I think Rakic is really good in at least his recent fights against Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos. He's a massive guy. He's massive. I think he's 6'4" or something. He's massive, and I feel like he controls the fight really well, and you could see that against Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos. You can go like, oh, they didn't do anything, like no one did anything, but because Rakic controlled the space so well, and I just feel like against someone, especially against a Yuri Prochazka, who's a little bit more reckless and is willing to walk straight through his distance, I feel like he's going to be able to. I feel like Rakic will be in trouble because, I mean, he hasn't shown it yet. Maybe he is really good. Maybe he's a better inside fighter. Who knows? But I just feel like when he has control, he's one of the best in the world. But when he doesn't have control, I feel like that's where the problems could be. So, yeah, that's light heavyweight division. Middleweights. This one's funny. And it's like the featherweights as well, spoiler alert. Ooh, sorry. There's all the contenders raging up to this point here. Then there's Whittaker, then there's Adesanya. I don't even know if you can say that, but there's contenders, then there's Whittaker and Adesanya. I feel like those two are just so far ahead of anyone. I literally can only see those two being champion by the end of the year. I cannot see anybody else, even with a chance, really. Well, there's obviously a chance, but not like significant chance. So that's why my third most likely, I don't have one. Second most likely, as much as it pains me, it's Robert Whittaker. And the most likely, obviously, it's Israel Adesanya. I think I'm so scared for that rematch. Obviously, as you can see, I am a massive Whittaker fanboy. I love him so much. He's my favourite fighter. I do love Adesanya as well, except for I will love him in every single fight except for 2 of them in his career potentially. the first Whittaker fight and the rematch now. I really want him to lose, but I mean, Izzy's amazing. Izzy is incredible. I think he's so good. The only time you can look at him and go, he's beatable, is when he went up against Jan for the light heavyweight title. Against middleweight, there's only been that Gastelum fight that you can go, he's beatable. But against that Gastelum fight, with that Gastelum fight, he showed the heart of a fucking lion. He walked through the fire, and he should have won by knockout in the 5th round, but that fight was incredible. I'm just thinking back to it. It was a great fight. But yeah, I just feel like, as much as I love Whittaker, I just don't see how he beats Izzy. I don't see how anyone in the middleweight division beats Izzy. I think he's just so good. He's just so good. His stand-up, he controls it. He can dictate the timing and distance and the pace of it so well, and even his wrestling is shown. I mean, it's not like he's going to shoot for takedowns and out wrestle you, but if you go into the wrestling demeanor, he's either A, going to hold his own, or B, be even better than you. So yeah, that's middleweight, and I'm probably going to stop it there because it's probably been a long time.